It was in 1990, during prayers at the Katankuri Mosque, when 103 Muslims were mercilessly killed by the gunfire and hand grenades of the Liberation Tigers of Tamil. It was a clear sign of oppression and heinous crime by the LTTE, as these Muslim civilians were innocent and unarmed. Weary of these atrocious acts by the LTTE, the northern Muslims were driven away from their own homes by the Tamil Tigers. People from Kilinochchi, Mullathil, Baunia and Mana districts were given 48-hour notice to leave their homes, while those living in the Jaffna district were given just 2 hours. They were mainly women, mothers and their children, pregnant women, women carrying their babies, the elderly and the disabled who were taken across land and sea. 75,000 such distressed Muslims arrived in the south of Sri Lanka as refugees. These people had no choice but to leave their lives and homes behind and become refugees living in temporary camps. They had to rebuild their lives in various areas like Anuradhapura, Kurunegala, Putlam and Colombo. They had no proper health facilities and no education whatsoever. Their livelihoods were affected and they had no food. They had nothing to survive on. Living as refugees brought nothing but distress, that they had even lost their will to live. It was only in 2002, when the ceasefire agreement was signed, that these Muslim refugees went back to their homes, only to find nothing left for them. Their properties and homes were taken away from them, while their roads, schools, and markets were destroyed. Only rubble remained, and there was nothing they could take from it. When the LTTE was completely destroyed in 2009, it brought the first signs of peace in Sri Lanka. These people believed that they can go back to their lives, and they were very happy. It was not only in the north, but people's lives across the entire country was beginning to improve. In the north, the once Muslim towns and villages had become deserted. But despite the situation, the Muslims were asked to move back into their villages. Now forced to live in camps, There was a sense of fear among everyone going back to their villages, as they couldn't help but wonder what would happen to them. Still, there were a few who had gone back to their homes and resettled themselves to live an honest and fulfilling life. While 15,321 families have been currently resettled in the Mana district, 1,046 families and 976 families respectively have been resettled in the Vaunia and Kilinochchi districts. Another 2,744 families have been resettled in Mullaitivu and 2,047 families in the Jaffna district. It has been many years since these people lived a peaceful life. Being a refugee in their own country is only one of many problems they face. Living as refugees for so many years, these people have lost all self-respect and honor. They have been neglected as refugees for over 20 years. And now they're back in their own hometown, living under the same conditions. In the refugee camps, they lived in makeshift shelters built from asbestos. And now they're back home living the same way. Is this their fate? There are still more families who are living in schools and other public buildings by force and without choice. Sanitary facilities are an essential part of a man's day-to-day life. Without this, these people go to the jungles to attend to their natural needs.
டாய்லெட்னா காட்டுக்கு தான் போறேன். டாய்லெட் கிடையாது. 3 வருஷமாக டாய்லெட்டே இல்லை.
அடுத்து வந்து டாய்லெட் அது வந்து முக்கியமான பிரச்சனை. காடுகளில் போய் இருக்கும்போது அங்கே பூச்சி ஆட்டு அப்படி ஒன்று நடந்துட்டுண்டா போக்குவரத்து அதில் வந்து சம்மந்தப்படுது. இங்கே இந்த போகிறதுக்கு கடையில் ஆளுக்கு முடிஞ்சிடும்.
It has definitely become a hindrance for them, especially when trying to maintain a healthy life. The problems that these Muslim people have to face keep mounting. There is still no clean water, no electricity, and no infrastructure facilities.
நாங்கள் குடிக்கிற தண்ணிக்கு சரியான கஷ்டம். இதை வந்து அடித்தா தண்ணியே வாரதில்லை. அப்போ என்ன முடியும்? ஒன்றும் செய்ய இயலாது. அடிக்க தண்ணி வருது இல்லை. குடி தண்ணிக்கு சரியான கஷ்டம்.
இந்த 750 குடும்பம் இதுக்கு குடிக்கிறாங்க. அதை பொம்பளை காலம் குடிக்கிறோம், ஆம்பளை மச்சான் குடிக்கிறோம். சும்மா டைமாக போயிடுது. நாங்கள் என்ன செய்வோம்? தண்ணி இல்லாத கஷ்டம் எங்களுக்கு.
Their family life, as well as their place in society, no longer exists. What a sad situation it has become. The 3-decade-long war has destroyed many schools. These schools have not been renovated. Instead, they have used asbestos sheets to build their classrooms so that they can continue with their studies. When something as basic as education is not improved in these areas, you can't help but wonder what their future holds.
அடுத்தது எந்த வேறு கட்டட வசதிகள் எங்களுக்கு எதுவுமே இல்லை. இருந்தாலும் பள்ளிக்கூடத்தை பாடசாலையை சீராக நடத்திட்டு போகணுன்றதுக்காக நாங்கள் பாடசாலையை நடத்திக்கிட்டு வரோம்.
Just like schools, masjids have also become deserted. Those masjids that have been destroyed due to war have not been renovated by anyone. This is why the people in the area have renovated them with asbestos and with the greatest difficulty carry out their prayers. The Muslims of the north are living their lives like they have been forgotten. During the last phase of the conflict, others who are also displaced have been resettled in the north and are living complete and respectful lives. If they're being taken care of, why are these Muslims in the north being ignored? The 3-decade-long war, the CFA, and now peace has dawned on Sri Lanka. If the country keeps changing for the better, why have the stories of the Muslims in the north stayed the same? Our Islamic brethren were banished and evicted from their places just because they followed Islam. They were disregarded and ignored because of being Muslims. Recently, high-ranking diplomats, including ambassadors and high commissioners from Palestine, Malaysia, Turkey, Indonesia, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Iran, and Iraq, made a direct visit to the field and met these people. As Muslims, it is our duty to create an environment for these people where they can continue to live with self-dignity and respect. The basic needs of the northern Muslims are quite simple. Currently, all it takes is $5,500 for a basic house to be completed. $500 for a toilet. $1,500 for a common well. And $500 for an individual household well. These are what the northern Muslims require fundamentally at present.